morning. Welcome to Denver Celebration over the great Daystar Television Network. This is the day the Lord has made.
And we will rejoice and be glad in it. Well, yesterday was Father's Day, and we had a great time together. And you know, we want to also remember our troops in Iraq and all of the families and everything that's going on over there, because we need to keep them in our daily prayer.
Yes, we do, Jenny. Now then, let me bring you up to date where we are right here. What a show. Totally different than anything you've ever seen coming from Denver Celebration. So you don't want to go away. I do want to invite you to make your phone call. Make that call if you need prayer. The number is 303-423-2400, and our prayer partners are waiting for your call right now. So make that call, and then we're going to take you into the kitchen, and we're going to see just what's cooking today. Watch this.
Our television to pray for our president, the men and women of our armed forces, and the countless others who are working to bring about a future of freedom for the Iraqi people. This is an historic moment spiritually as well. The doors are wide open for the gospel to be preached in a country that has only known oppression for decades. As you watch the news today and throughout the coming weeks, get in the traffic of what God is doing. Join with us here at Daystar Television in prayer for the advancement of God's kingdom in the heart of the Middle East.
Let me introduce you to my favorite chef in all of Denver, Mr. Chester Wright. Now, I'm not going to shake hands with you, Chester, because I know that as a chef, you can't touch other people when you're preparing food.
That's right.
Chester is the #1 chef. He is the executive chef at the Omni Hotel. And the reason I've asked him to come on the show today is not only so you can see a master chef, an executive chef in operation, but also to see a Christian in action. This is a wonderful Christian man. His church is Faith Bible Chapel. He attends there. His family attends there. But he has taken his Christian walk into the workplace. Well, Chester, what are you doing today?
Well, today we're going to prepare a Southwestern Colorado themed dish that I actually really love cooking. It's beef tenderloin, which we have here. It's wrapped with prosciutto ham, which is a cured Italian ham that we use a lot. And we have wild prawns, which I have lightly breaded in toasted graham cracker crust.
In what?
A toasted graham cracker crust.
Whoa.
Wow.
So, and we're going to cook with a little garlic, a little lemon, and we're going to toss it with these nice micros, which is a tropical baby micro flour that we use to toss with a lot of olive oil, a little truffle oil, a little balsamic.
Okay.
So it's going to be very exciting.
That garlic is strong and it smells good.
So it's going to smell really good in here. So.
You're on, so let's go.
We're going to start.
Ready to start, yes.
Start with a non-stick saute pan, which I like using so it doesn't stick in the product.
Right.
Truffle oil, which I use a lot of this. This is one of my favorite flavored infused oils that I use a lot of. I'm going to put about a tablespoon, actually 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to bring that to medium heat, and then we're going to add the beef tenderloin, which will be seared here once it comes up to temperature. You may want to stand back just a little bit, but we'll let that come up to temperature for a minute. Meanwhile, I'll start cutting my garlic, crushing my garlic. These are fresh garlic cloves, one fresh shallot that I use a lot in the hotel itself. I like to actually crush with the tip of the knife Try not to get the garlic on your hands because it'll stay with you all day.
Yeah.
So just pretty much just crushing it and then lightly chop. Roughly we can chop because we're going to take the beef tenderloin will be out of the pan, so this could be actually chopped pretty roughly. I'm going to do the shallots the same way, roughly chop on that as well. Meanwhile, you can see that the truffle oil is starting to separate in the pan, so that means that it's time, it's showtime here. So what we're going to do, take your meat that's been wrapped in the prosciutto ham. I usually marinate this for like at least, say, 4 to 6 hours before I start preparation on it. And then I do the process with the marinated prosciutto. Slightly light in the pan there. I like to cook my tenderloin like medium to medium rare because of the natural flavors.
Right.
Take my garlic and my shallot and gently just sprinkle it over it. This is where you're getting all the flavor. And it's gonna start to sweat, but meanwhile you want to really watch the temperature of this because the prosciutto ham is cured with a lot of spices, Italian spices, and it has a lot of sugar and salt that they use to cure the meat. So this process is very, very quickly. You can see the coloration of the meat, how it turns really fast. Okay, well as that process is going, and take the same pan that we're cooking in and add my prawns. This process, this step would take about 5 to 6 minutes to brown on each side, and then in the oven about 275 degrees for about 3 to 4 minutes before medium rare.
For breading, does that give it just a little sweet flavor?
It does. It gives a really nutty sweet flavor, but you have to really watch it up under the heat itself, because it'll turn it'll cook really fast and turn really brown really fast as well. So
beautiful.
It's just like you have to baby it, and make sure that each side is getting a certain amount of attention that it needs.
While you're talking there about what you're doing and how you have to baby that, that's almost like living a Christian life, isn't it? There are some people that you just have to baby all along, don't you?
Well, you have to, but also, you deal with a lot of people that have a certain passion for cooking, and it's just something that will automatically come out, or it's something that one of these days they'll finally get and say, I know how to cook and I love cooking. But, it's a great job to be in the culinary field and to be, a Christian of God, and to love to be around people who love cooking. At Faith Bible Church with Pastor George, we do a wonderful job with him. We do some cooking demonstration with him as well. He's a great pastor. Yes, he is. But it's always good to have that Sunday off to go to church and come back on Monday and get it all started over again.
And here you have, you had Sunday off and had a good day at church, and then instead of being at the Omni Hotel cooking during this time, you're here at the station giving us a demonstration.
I know, and all my co-workers back at the hotel are watching me, and I have such a great staff. I'll tell you.
Yes,
okay,
you do.
I want to stand back for just a second. I'm just going to hit with a couple drops of white wine. And this is the process of what I'm using. It's going to make my sauce. Now this is some balsamic, aged balsamic vinegar. Very, very potent, so you have to be very careful with how much you use. Just a little touch. And
what did you tell me that little bottle cost?
That bottle is around about $65, $75 a bottle.
So we're not going to just rush out and buy a gallon of it, are we?
No, I don't think so. And then the truffle oil is roughly around the same price, $95, almost $120 a bottle. But you really don't use that much. As you can see the caramelization of the shrimp here, what's happening.
Oh, yes.
This is going to be very good. It's making me hungry.
And me too.
But it's just the process of it. And I like to cook it for medium rare. And then we can take just a little touch of lemon and gently just squeeze it over it to get that, to release all that flavor that you're looking for. Half of that. And you also take half of a lemon lime, I'm sorry, and do the same thing. Just release all that flavor.
I love the taste of lime.
And this process will take another like 15, 20 minutes, and we're ready to eat. And I'll do the demonstration on how we set up and how we will display this in the restaurant if it's a special feature. It smells very good. I recommend if you cook this to be medium rare, not to overcook it. And then not to use too much salt, because we have a lot of salt and sugar inside the prosciutto ham itself.
Okay. Now, Chester, talk to me while you're cooking here. The average, I think the average Christian feels like maybe they have to sacrifice part of their testimony in the workplace. And yet I found you're the executive chef, and you do such a wonderful job. And I know a lot of your staff, they all respect you, they all hold you in high esteem, and yet you hold your testimony as a child of God and as a servant of the Lord, don't you?
Well, it comes from the fact of believing who you are, and if you're believing in Jesus Christ and how much He saved your life and how much He had changed my life. This happened to me about 10 or 15 years ago. I was on my way home from work, actually, late at night, and I was coming down the road, and something told me to get over. You know, you're in the middle lane of the road, and it said, just get over. You come up to the peak of the mountain, and this car was coming at me going the wrong way, and I was very, very, very scared. And I knew it was God that was talking to me to tell me to move over, because if I hadn't have did that, I would not be here today.
Wow.
So, I mean, it takes a lot, and just to remember where you came from, and I always made a promise that I would always be a part in church. I was brought up and raised that way, and to believe in who you are, and to treat people with respect and return your game respect. So.
Well, you certainly do that, and then you add the culinary delight that you really, with the Omni, we eat with you very often there. And I was talking to one of the managers the other day, and he said, you know, most of the time the food is at least 4-star. And on that particular day, I looked at him and I said, today it was 5-star. The food is always good. And Chester, I have to believe that part of it is that Christian love that's in you that comes out to your staff, right, and shows, and it's a wonderful staff. It's a wonderful, while we don't call the hotel a Christian hotel, right, they certainly have a lot of Christian principles there, that they serve the people, and they're a service organization that is there to help people.
Right.
Yeah,
well, it all comes back to selecting, you know, a group of people that you want to be around with yourself as well. Because if you're a Christian and you care about your staff and you care about what they do and how they do it, that entitles you to be a better person, a better manager, a better supervisor, and to supervise them in a way where it's more religious.
That's true.
You know, you have enough stress because this industry is very, very stressful.
Is it?
So you have to be on top of what's going on. You have to be organized, and you have to deal with people a lot.
Yes.
So and talents to do that, you have to have God in your life, because it's just you can't do it without it, and it's very stressful sometimes when you come in different situations. You always deal with different situations, but the fun thing about cooking is that it's always something different. It's never the same technique. I'm sorry, I'm talking about
Tell me
everything
what you're
else.
doing.
What I'm doing is, I took the micros and I tossed them with the candy nuts, which I have lightly candied, some pistachios, pecans, and peanuts. And then I save a little lemon juice, a lime, a fresh lime, to squeeze it over there as well. A little pinch of salt, which we can use this in this one because this doesn't have any flavor right there. And then we use just a little bit of the spinach oil.
The what?
Spinach oil.
Spinach infused oil is what it is that you can cook down your spinach, with some olive oil, and then strain it off later, and you get this nice flavor oil.
Wow.
This is a red pepper oil, you can do pretty much the same steps with that. Roast off your peppers and then add it to your olive oil, and then gives you a really, really nice flavor. Now this is the last step. This is a truffle oil. Everybody know at my job I love this, so. Truffle oil is very, very rich oil. It's very famous for its cuisine, and it's very, very potent, so you have to really watch how much you use, and it's very expensive as well. So what I'm going to do is start with my setup here. We can go to this table here real fast. Take my greens that I tossed with my micros and my 3 different oils. I can set that in the corner here. This is a very...
What are the other nuts? Pistachio?
Pistachio.
Nuts in it?
I'll put this one a little bit more in there. And it's very weird how they make these little small greens here, the micros. They're actually made from the flower buds of the flowers, like broccoli seed, and oregano and rosemary, which is combined in a little microfill, and they pick them, actually hand pick them, and then they send them to us. And then we went there and we reprocessed them by setting up a little sink with cold water and shocking them, so they bring them back to life again. So this is pretty much a sauce. As you can see, the meat looks like it's about medium rare. The shrimp's ready to go. I got my salad ready to go over here. And then also, it's just when you use the prosciutto, make sure you get the prosciutto that has the less fat content. So it's more health marked than anything.
Okay.
And then when you ask your grocery stores for that as well. So do you have any questions for me about this before I start preparing the dish?
No, I'm going to want you to put it in the dish now.
It's pretty simple.
I'm wondering about you. I haven't heard the phone ring like it should be. So are you so interested in what we're doing that you've forgotten that we're here to pray for you? We want to hear from you. Of all things that are important, it's you, your prayer request, and where you are. I tell you, if you were standing here and you could just smell the aroma, well, it just reminds me of how good God is, that He's made provision for His children, and that He's given people like Chester that ability to prepare for people like you and me.
He does this so artistically. It's
Yes, he does.
So beautiful. Really
Yes.
He does that.
I should tell you that that Chester is the master chef, and he has a wonderful staff that prepares absolutely excellent food at the Omni Hotel. And what if on your next time of having a special day or night, why don't you look Chester up at the beautiful Omni Hotel? Well, Chester, it's looking better every second.
We have we ran this one dish at our Sunday brunch that we just started at the Meritage restaurant, and it's so nice to walk out on the floor next to see Dr. Newman walks through the restaurant, and knowing that him and his wife is there, and it's just incredible to see you guys, and everyone knows when you guys are there, so it's like we have to take care of you guys.
Well,
and
there's special
be a
people
part of
out
it.
there.
So we start with the process here. As you can see, I just sort of just slice it up in little chunks. I'll put it back here so we can see. What I've done is I took my truffle mashed sweet potatoes, not sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, and I put them in a bag. And then you can actually, if you make too much of it, you can also actually just put it in the freezer, and they'll hold up pretty well. What I'm going to do is just pipe this here, just like that. Check out beef. And you see the medallions are medium rare, nice medium rare medallions. And sort of do room for your dress up here. Now this dish is just incredible. I cooked it like several times before, and I always seem to have a lot of luck with this one. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry?
I can understand why you'd have. That's absolutely gorgeous.
Now what we're going to do is use our flavored oils. We have, like I said, the spinach oil, the red pepper oil, and the truffle oil that we use, and then the balsamic reduction. So we gently just take it and start doing a little plate painting. on the different
Now in your
entrees.
desserts out there, you do a lot of beautiful plate painting, as you call
Yes,
it. That
yes.
are very
Yes.
appetizing.
And then we use just a little of the balsamic reduction. This stuff is done. So.
Very beautiful.
And then last, we dress it up with just a little bit of truffle oil, and you just touch it up a little bit with that. And then the final touch I like to do with this is take my micros, which I have here, and you made a little micro salad with it, and sort of just take a little pinch, as you can see. And these have been pre-washed.
They're just little flower buds.
Flower buds, and they're just outstanding with flavor, robust with flavor. Just a little pinch and finishing touches right there.
Yeah, garnish it with that.
And the truffle oil is right inside the potatoes as you break it down and use it. And then the leftover sauce like this, you can actually combine it to finish up with it. It's a little white wine. If she'll come to boil. It's more reduction and bring it back to boil. And usually when you get to that point, you can add just a little touch of butter if it would like. If not butter, you can use just a little heavy cream to make sure you want the flavor, the colorness that you're looking for. And once this comes to boil, hit it with a little butter, and you can finish it across the top with your sauce. And there you have it. The menu today we prepared was prosciutto-wrapped beef tenderloin with a wild graham cracker crust prawns, truffle mashed potatoes. The sauce is a 25-year-old reduction, and 3 tricolor oils, which is spinach, red pepper, and truffle oil.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
there we have it.
Well, what a beautifully prepared meal this is, and what a wonderful aroma. That would make anybody sitting at any table hungry, wouldn't it? Unless they're a vegetarian.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But if they're vegetarian, they could always have a micro salad.
I see.
Tossed with a
That's
little
true.
truffle oil, and I think they'll be fine right there.
Chester, I just don't have words to thank you enough for sharing your talent and your testimony. I tell you, as much as I love to see what you do, the testimony that you gave of how the Lord saved your life, that is so tremendous, and what a blessing. Well, we've got something that we're going to show you right quick, so stay tuned, and when we come back, I may let you have a bite.
To do. I work 50, 60 hours a week, and it's still not enough. All I want is to give my kids the breaks that I never had. A real chance at a better life. I want to give my wife something more than a life of cooking and cleaning. She's not a maid. She's a real woman with her own hopes and dreams. When life kicks me in the gut, I find real answers in this. This is a whole lot more than those Sunday school stories about David and a slingshot. There are real answers to real problems. Answers to my problems. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Sure, I've got my share of problems. Who doesn't? But if you spend your whole life thinking about your problems, you might just miss out on some of the good stuff. Read the Bible. It's got the answers.
This message brought to you by the New King James Version of the Bible.
Well, the aroma in the studio is wonderful today, but you know, it doesn't even compare to the aroma of our Lord and our Savior and what He can do for us in our lives. And you know, I don't think you have called us yet to pray for the needs in your life. Our prayer partners are standing by. Chester, Dr. D, and I are here wanting to pray with you for breakthroughs in your life, for things to be happening that are godly. Let God work in your life to change things. He is such an awesome God. And like I said, the aroma is so good, but it doesn't even compare to the awesomeness of our Lord and Savior.
That's true, Jenny. As I watched Chef work and create this culinary delight, I'm thinking about how good God was
Yes.
to save his life and to give his life back to him. Now, wherever you are, there may be a similar story that somewhere down the road, God has reached out to save you
Yes.
when danger was ahead.
Right.
This man has given his life. He has consecrated himself. Well, he didn't stop and go preaching. No, he continued to be a great chef.
Yes.
In fact, he has become a greater chef as a result of letting Christ come into his life. You see, everything is not just about preaching. Sometimes it takes people like you and Chef that will dedicate themselves to the Lord. Chef, it's easy to be laughed at in the workplace if you're a Christian. Some people will never understand it, but it looks like you're big enough to handle it.
Well, it's just you have to trust in the Lord and to be a part of that and to really, you know, make a commitment to do things that you want to do in life. And once you make that commitment, it's going to make a big difference in your life. It's going to make a big difference on how you live your life and be a part of that as well.
That's right.
I really have enjoyed myself on this show, and like I said, God has been really good to me. He's put me in a great working place, a great group of people.
Yes.
And just a little family, you know, and when you can have that and be a part of that, it's incredible.
Yes, it is.
So it's definitely incredible.
And you definitely are with a wonderful group. That's just a marvelous group of people who are there to serve the public.
Right.
They're there to serve. When people come in, the whole idea is to make the people comfortable.
That's true.
And go out of their way to show that it is a true service organization. Well, one more time, I'm standing here, my saliva glands are going crazy as I smell the wonderful aroma and look at the beautiful presentation.
Yes.
So I want to thank Chef Chester for coming. Chester, now then we can shake hands. Thank you for coming and sharing with us your wonderful culinary skills.
Thank you very much.
Well, our time is gone, and we hope that you enjoyed the show as much as we did. Hey, I didn't get to give you a bite. Well, how about if I take your bite for you?
Bless you.
Hello, I'm Pastor Pearl Porter, pastor of Victory Temple in the Thornton area. I'm giving you a special invitation to come and worship with us. We are noted in this city as the little church with a big heart. Come and be blessed and worship with us. God bless you. I'll be looking for you.
See what God is doing in Denver. Join us for Denver Celebration every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 a.m. to learn about the local ministries, churches, and events right here in Denver. Do you need peace of mind or healing in your body? Come and be refreshed. June 24th at 7 p.m. The monthly miracle service of Healing Waters Ministry works through the word and music of evangelist Angie Brogan. Call 303-431-4066.
You're watching the Daystar Television Network.
It's not about me and it's not about you, it's all about God. And God put us here to declare His praises.
Discover